Hey guys, what's going on? So yesterday I found this meme. It's please go check it out on the Truth or Talk Facebook page. And it says it's a cartoon and it has two lines, and in one line has a lot of people lined up, and there's a sign, and the sign says toxic pills and surgeries, and then there's another line and it says lifestyle change, and there's nobody in the lifestyle change line, but there's a ton of people in the toxic pills and surgeries. So I don't remember where I got this from, but I thought that was brilliant. And then it's like you can't see my other image. And then anyway, I posted it, and there were a lot of people that I saw from the page that I posted it from responded. And a lot of people were pissed. Some were pissed and some weren't. Some were like, and I was like, it's very interesting. You can see how people, who's offended by that are the ones that do the toxic pills and surgeries, and the ones that don't want to take responsibility and do the lifestyles change. It was really, really simple to make that distinction. And then I saw this one person, I don't know if it was a guy or girl, because they didn't have a picture, but they were talking about, like, I love it how people think that, just because you're on pills, you're not a healthy person. I'm like, no, you're not, because you're on fucking pills. So, including myself, I'm trying to be the healthiest I can be. I'm not on pills anymore, but, I have to take medicine to maintain my asthma, that's still, but because of the lifestyle change that I have made, I've had to change my diet drastically. I'm almost able to get off of it. I'm not like attached to it. And and then I was looking at the person that was going on their rant, and I was like, I tried to check out their page, and I was like, yeah, it's really interesting that you don't have a picture of how healthy you are, right? Because if you were so healthy, you probably wouldn't mind showing your face, or showing a picture of yourself of what you look like, troll. And I noticed too, a lot of these vaccine trolls are really unhealthy people, and they're very, they're addicted, they're dependent, right? Like the society that we live in, they don't want to take responsibility. They want a doctor to come in like a god or an angel to just take their illness away, and them not having any responsibility. But that's not how this works. There's this thing called biochemistry, right? And when you take these pills, or you get surgeries, there are ramifications for that. There's always side effects. Even surgery, anesthesia is not really good for you. You have even I've had surgeries, but and I needed it, but there's also can be complications with the scar tissue and the anesthesia and a lot of other things, and the painkillers you're given afterwards. And our country has a huge addiction to opiates. The SSRI drugs are terrible. These antipsychotic drugs are terrible. And, you can change a lot of this with lifestyle change. You can change a lot of this by diet, which a lot of people don't want to do, which is hard. Like, I know some of y'all are going to hate me, but I'm just being real. I've never really had to struggle with weight, but I've had to struggle with illness. I've had to struggle with, I understand food addiction. But I don't know what it's like to be overweight and have people make fun of you and feel bad about your body and stuff like that. I don't know what that's like. I'll admit to that, okay? But I know what food addiction, I've definitely had issues with that. And it's taken me like years to really get to this point where I've changed my lifestyle, and I think I had to get sick enough. It seems like a lot of people had to get sick. You have to get sick enough, and you have to get desperate enough to want the change so badly that you'll do anything. And that's where I was. But now I'm so glad that I did something, and I wish I had done something sooner. But just because you're thin doesn't mean you're healthy. And but if you're fat, you're unhealthy. There's no, you can't be fat and healthy, okay? You can't be overweight and healthy. But one of the first few people we interviewed was this guy named Chris Work, who he runs a blog and a channel. I think it's a YouTube channel now, and some other pages on social media. And Chris beat cancer. Please check him out. So inspirational. When we interviewed him, it totally took away my fear of getting cancer, and that kind of sent me down the journey of kind of research on natural cures and why people get cancer. A lot of people don't even know why people get cancer. They're just like, oh, I got cancer. Like, they don't understand. They're
many different causes for cancer, and there are many different cures for cancer. It depends on the cancer that you have. It depends on the approach that you take to get it. And now I actually know more people. Well, I know a lot of people that have not chosen the poison, cut, burn, chemotherapy, radiation, and they're fine. They're thriving. And every single person I know that has chosen to go the chemotherapy, radiation route has died, and they died a horrible death. And the thing about Chris was he was kind of like me, like can eat anything that they wanted and not gain weight. But you never get away with that shit. You never get away, even though you're not physically like gaining weight. You're like ravaging your organs, or there's something going on inside where you're not going to get away with just putting poison into your body, which is what all of this GMO shit is, and the sodas. And so basically he got colon cancer. It was like stage 4 colon cancer at 26. Okay, 26. And he was like, when we interviewed him, he was like, you know what though? He goes, I was eating KFC, I was eating Pizza Hut, I was eating all this junk food, and all this like he's not gaining weight, so he's probably just eating. He's probably even in maybe even a more toxic state because he's not, he's not having the physical ramifications of his aesthetics. So he's eating all this crap, and it's accumulating, and in his body he got colon cancer. And he was able to beat cancer by becoming a raw vegan for only I think it was 90 days. But he's not raw vegan now. He just eats really healthy. He doesn't he doesn't get foods with hormones. He's very conscious of what he puts into his body. Same thing with depression. Depression could be changed by your diet, and maybe people get depressed because maybe they had a trauma. So if you get psychotherapy, not psychiatry, but psychotherapy, psychoanalysis, or you get counseling, or you get some ways to figure it out. I mean, life happens, shit happens, people die that you love, you lose your job, you get fired, your best friend cheats on you with your girlfriend. There's so many reasons why people get depressed. It's not just like a cold, oh, I got depression. Shit happens, right? But the thing about these damn pills and these pharmaceuticals is they actually cause the problems that they try to solve. One of the side effects for antidepressants is depression, right? One of the side effects for anti-seizure medications is seizures. One of the side effects for antipsychotic pills are psychosis. So, I mean, I don't really, even with vaccines, you can get the disease that you were vaccinated for, okay? These people that are they're so brainwashed. This lady, I was talking to April about this the other day. This lady, I feel bad for her family. It just annoys me that people are just so manipulated. But she goes on this rant. I think she was a public figure in the Christian community. She goes on this rant about how vaccines are wonderful, and she's pro-vaccine, and how every year her family gets the flu shot. So then she gets a flu shot, and then she gets sick. She gets encephalitis, which is a side effect from the flu shot. It's in the insert. And she dies, and I think it would have been better if she just had the flu, right? Just get your vitamin D and C levels up. Maybe you won't even get the flu. But people are they just line up. It's totally like that meme. They line up to basically get slaughtered, to be slaves, right? They're not, they're not in control of your life. And I just think that the way our system is set up, it's set up for people to be dependent, right? And I'm working on some more informational stuff about that. I'm doing my rants right now because I've been busy, but I want to make more informational videos explaining how, this whole concept that we have about medicine, started at the early 1900s with the Rockefellers and the Carnegies getting together and getting Abraham Flexner to push out all the natural medicine with the Flexner Report, and then making us dependent. They've set us up to be dependent, right? They've, germ theory is flawed.
There are people who could be like, oh, you're denied germs, you're germ theory denialist. No, it's just flawed. It's flawed. I'm not saying they're not germs, but there are thousands of microbes, maybe even more, that we come in contact with, and we're not overtaken by them. We don't get sick by them. Why is that? So it has to do more with the terrain. If our terrain's intact, then we are able to ward off sickness. Now, with the terrain, that if you look at it this way, right? This is how the germ theory is, in summary, is like, oh, there are microbes around us all the time. They're attacking us, and we need defenses such as vaccines and medicine to help us. Well, why don't we be defenders ourselves and fortify our fortress by making our bodies strong, right? With vitamins and nutrients. People know this. The anthropologists know this, because when you go to, like they always say that feast and the famine and disease go hand in hand, because when people are starving, they're lacking nutrients. They don't have the right nutrients to fortify their stuff. Look up scurvy. People didn't know what the hell scurvy was, and then they found out it was like the lack of vitamin C. So English people figured this out before a lot of people, and that's why they were called limeys. That's like but doesn't call like a black person nigger, but at that time they called them limeys, because they would carry limes around, because they knew when they sailed and they had vitamin C, then they wouldn't get scurvy. And then there's another disease that we don't even vaccinate for, which is called pellagra, P-E-L-E-G-R-A. Look that shit up. It looks like zombie land, like people are turning into zombies. Their skin's all peeling off. It's so gross. But all it is lack of niacin, right? Measles depletes your body of vitamin A. And I think that, knowing like the disease that you have, you can ward off the flu by high amounts of vitamin C and D, getting some sun, walking, keeping your stress levels down, because when you have high stress, it messes up your releases chemicals into your body, and takes your body out of a state of homeostasis. So bottom line, when you're in a state of homeostasis, you don't need all this shit, okay? Then you get on these pills and these quote-unquote vaccines. They cause other illnesses and side effects, and then you need more pills for that, and more vaccines for that, and more, and it just becomes this cycle. So, I guess people, the people that have done the lifestyle change, it's just really annoying when people don't want to do this lifestyle change, and then they want to get mad at the people that do, right? Like I would even, I have a lot of people that are seriously overweight in my family, and I would go to gatherings, and I would always bring food for everyone else, but I would make like a salad. I would make this bomb ass like kale, mango, avocado salad, right? And then I bring it to share with everybody, but I just make sure that I have something healthy to eat, and they would make fun of me. And I was like, bitch, you're the ones that fucking have diabetes. You're the ones that have heart problems. You just had a stroke last week. Like, why are you making fun of me? Because I'm healthy? Like, get the fuck out of here. It's very annoying, It's annoying that at the end of the day, when people don't want to take responsibility into their hands. And then this person, going back to the person on the thread, they were like pontificating about like how they were vegan and shit. Yeah, well, just because you're vegan doesn't mean I was a vegan, right? Vegans eat a shit ton of sugar, generally speaking. Most vegans I know are unhealthy. Okay, I know a few that are healthy, that eat lots of vegetables and plant-based stuff, but a lot of them eats grains and carbs, and that's just and I used to be that vegetarian. I used to be like, look at me, I'm a vegetarian, I'm not eating any meat. Well, I'd be eating fried food like french fries and pizza every day, and then I got sick. Why? Because I was eating french fries and pizza every day. That's not even like, how is that food? That's not even food. All right, I was just prolonging my, I don't know, it wasn't healthy. Okay, bottom line. So, kudos to the people that do make that lifestyle change. And I did see one person that was like, oh man, that's me, I admit it. I'm glad he had what is the word I'm looking for? I'm glad he was able to admit it. I hope that person takes some responsibility. It never, when you're unhealthy, when you're overweight, when you're on all this stuff, it never gets better. I don't know of one single case in my life where people are dependent on medicine and they always get healthier. Always. It's never the case. It's never a happy ending. Okay. And even the people that are like, oh, I need it, you know, I need medicine to keep me stable, or it only works, that's a band-aid. It's not going to work forever, okay? So you need to, like, you know, do some research and, you know, become enslaved, because you're being enslaved. You're slaves by being in the line with all the people that want the toxic pills and the surgeries. And in the line with the lifestyle change is the freedom line. Just so you know. Alright guys, I will talk to you later. I just had to get this one ran out for today. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Mwah.